Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. Wow, we got another absolutely fantastic show coming your way. And we're going to talk about something that I don't think Michelle and I have talked about on the show before. But we've got some absolutely fantastic guests, and I can't wait to talk about this discussion that we're going to have with them. How you doing, Dr. Cooley?
I'm doing good, doing good. I'm excited. I love fashion. I love the apparel industries. I think everyone does. And I am particularly interested in what these guests have to say about their company and the types of apparel and the target market that they're reaching out to. So excited to have them on.
I'm excited to have them on. How you doing, Todd? How you doing back in California studios, man?
Oh, it's good. And I'm excited for today's show. Yeah, something different. First time I'll be excited to talk about this different topic.
I'm excited to talk about it. And I tell you what, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is pick up the phone, dial 1-888-344-1170, or go to the platform, the 68 platforms that you might be watching us on, and just go to the comments, ask any question that you might have. I promise you, we'll get you an answer. I tell you, Todd, I want to lock all of these.
All right, we're locking it in here in 3, 2, 1, locking it in.
It's Your Life is sponsored by James J.C. Cooley.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley. The James Cooley Show. It's your life.
Hello, welcome to the James Cooley Show. It's your life. I'm your host, Dr. James J.C. Cooley. And I tell you, wherever you're watching us at around the world, welcome to the show. And I tell you, whichever platform you're watching us on, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have. Or you can call my buddy back in our California studios, KCBQ, AM 1170, FM 96.1, The Answer. Dial 1-888-344-1170. Welcome to the show. How you doing, Dr. Cooley? And how's your day going so far?
It's going great. I'm counting down to our vacation. I know we leave Saturday, but I'm still counting down and starting to pack. So, or at least trying to figure out what we're going to take. But I'm excited.
Oh, yeah. I'm looking forward to this vacation. Well, we're going to Puerto Vallarta. And we went there last year. Had a fantastic time. And I tell you, our viewers out there, if you ever get an opportunity, you might want to check that out. Michelle, I'm excited about the show. I'm excited about these two guests. I'm excited about the apparel industry that they're going to talk about. It's a different type of industry. So I tell you what, why don't you do the honors and introduce the title of the show, the purpose of the show, and introduce both of these absolutely fantastic guests.
Oh, most definitely. So again, the title of today's show audience is called The Apparel Industry. And we're having a conversation with Amit Patel and Will Cuadros. They're the founders of Newton's First Clothing. And they're going to talk about how they got into this specific industry. As we know, it's very competitive. There's struggles to survive, the launch of Newton's First Clothing, and the goals of both brands, the Winston Box and Newton's First Clothing. So Amit Patel, with a track record of leadership and innovation, Amit Patel oversees the business side of Newton's First. He currently serves as CEO of the Winston Box, the first big and tall subscription box, and in his demand as a business consultant. He holds a double major in finance and information technology from Virginia Tech. Will Cuadros has been involved in the big and tall space since 2016 when he founded the Winston Box, the first big and tall men's subscription box, and helped guide it through a successful Kickstarter launch. He also owns an apparel factory in Peru. He is responsible for the creative and design vision of Newton's First. So we're going to talk to these two amazing gentlemen about this company and the challenges and the rewards getting into this apparel industry. So please welcome to the show Amit Patel and Will Cuadros.
Wow. Hey,
thank you very much. We're excited to be here.
Thank you. I'm excited to have both of you guys on. And I've been missing my buddy at the gym the last week or so, week and a half, AP.
Yeah, we missed each other. I've been there a little bit earlier.
Oh, yeah. I am so excited to be talking about this topic because, certain apparel industry, one size do not fit all. I mean, and so I believe that you have to have specialties in certain sizes for men, women, or whatever that is, to be able to keep up with the industry where they can have the best possible selection for their needs. So, first of all, I want to ask you guys to tell us a little bit more about you. What make you click? What make you push forward, and why you're so passionate about what you do? I want to start off with you first, AP.
All right. Well, we sort of stumbled into this industry, but the story is quite interesting. Our backgrounds, mine obviously is IT, finance. Will's was, sales, business development. We worked together for about a 2-year span at a college. I was IT director. Will was part of the admissions team. And we had kind of a little bit of acquaintance, and we knew each other. And then we had separated into different companies. I had taken another job in Orange County. And, Will was the one with the great idea. And he sort of wanted to have lunch with me just to kind of discuss the IT parts of this idea. And the more we talked, the more we kind of thought about the pros, cons. How do you struggle, figure this out, figure that out. We ultimately just decided to work together on it. I'll let him explain a little more on how he came up with it. But and ever since then, a good eight plus years, it's just been our passion to provide this service to our customers. We've had tens of thousands of customers, which is always amazing to us, because anytime we're feeling a little down in the dumps, we think about two guys that don't have any fashion apparel industry experience, no investors, no outside money to kind of help us launch. We're still around almost 10 years in, still selling big and tall clothing. And now what we're doing is expanding our offerings into athleisure, just other basics that the guys would need, and just excited to kind of keep that pushing. My background is, I grew up in Virginia, went to Virginia Tech, worked in finance in New York City, moved to Los Angeles just to get a change of scenery, met my wife there, worked at a college, but ended up leaving the IT world for the fashion world. And I'm really happy for it. And it's exciting. It's definitely hard, that there's no exceptions to that, but it's been a great ride, and it continue to will be.
Wow, I did not know that you was in the IT industry, because
Yeah.
I spent my whole life for cybersecurity and information technology, as
Okay.
you probably know. So
Yeah.
let's hear your story.
Well, it's what I like about the story is not just a story about the fashion industry. It's about, two guys who kind of, work together and kind of, not only prop each other up, but also kind of, a lot of the things that Amit's good at, I'm not, and vice versa. So it's a story of a true partnership. So what happened was, look, I've always been interested in dressing nice. But, I've always been a big guy. My sizes have always fluctuated. So, typically when you get to 1XL, 2XL, that's when, kind of the fashion industry stops taking you seriously as a customer. You get to 3XL and above, and all of a sudden it's just, you should be thankful that you have something to wear over your body, right? So that's kind of been the prevailing attitude of the fashion industry over the years. And so basically 8 years ago, I was on Facebook. I was getting an ad for a subscription box, and subscription boxes were all the rage, about a decade ago. That's when they were really kind of coming into their own. And I found a subscription clothing box, and I saw the sample items that were there, and I loved them. I love the look. I love the feel. So I'm like, I'm gonna buy this. An impulse buy, get out my credit card, make a purchase, and they didn't have my size, or rather, they had it. They had a 3XL. That was the size at the time, but my waist size was a 50. And the biggest that they went to was a 46. So that told me, okay, this is more of an athletic cut. even if they did have my size, it's not going to fit me properly. So I started digging into other subscription boxes, and I found that, hey, there was nobody in the space currently doing big and tall men's subscription box. So that was the idea of kind of, making a possible business opportunity. And opportunity is also goes well with timing, right? So what happened, I was at a job that I didn't like. As Amit had said, we had kind of gone our separate ways. And I was at a job that I really didn't like, and they did me the best thing that they could ever done. They laid me off. They were downsizing, and they decided that they were going to move on. And that was basically sink or swim, an opportunity for us to kind of get started with the apparel industry. So I was building a Kickstarter campaign, needed a website. I reached out to AP because I remember that he was good at IT, and I thought he was just going to be able to provide us with some good contacts, people that I can talk to. We had a meeting that was only supposed to last 20 minutes. It lasted nearly 3 hours. And by the time that I was done, I knew that I had a business partner, not just a referral, because he had a lot of the things that I didn't do well, and I knew that I could use him and we can work together to build this thing. And here we are over 8 years later, still going at it.
Wow. It's amazing. What you just said, Will, is a lot of times, we're working in whatever industry that is, and they decide that they need us anymore, and we get upset or whatever that might be, but we go out and we use our thoughts and our mind, what we've been thinking about, and it's a dream, and we put that into actions, and that's I think that's God working with you, or whoever your high power telling you that you can do these things, you can make a difference in other lives. So I tell you, we're going to take a station break, but we got so much more to talk about. And I tell you, if you want to be part of the conversation, all you have to do is pick up the phone down 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170, or whichever platform that you're on. All you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have. I promise you we'll get you an answer. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
The James Cooley Show. It's your life. That's right.
Really get a chance to know who you are. And once you know who you are, you truly know who you are, love who you are. Love who you are. You're a masterpiece. Love who you are. Love who you were born to be. Love me some me. That's what I'm talking about. When you leave high school, you gotta know today or tomorrow, hopefully today, what your plans are. Hopefully, there is no bad decision unless there is no plan. Create, collaborate, commit with confidence. Commit with what? Commit with what? And everything that you do.
Noah Dingley here, producer of The James Cooley Show, It's Your Life. And the new audio version of James' book, Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet, is a must-have. James shares his true life story of struggle and success in America. It's both a cautionary tale and a roadmap to achieving the American dream. Get the new audio version of Country Boy, City Boy, A Journey That Ain't Over Yet by James Cooley on Amazon.com or wherever audiobooks are sold.
JC
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and I tell you, first segment. First, the first segment is always getting to know our guests, and I tell you, as you already know, these are two absolutely fantastic guests, and that put their thoughts, their dreams, and minds together to create something that's unique. Many things out there is a need for it, but many people don't want to take the chances to push or go out there and help fulfill that need. And so I'm having a discussion about the apparel industry. I got my good friend. I call him AP, Amit Patel. And I said, just meeting his business partner right here, Will Cuadros. I think I got it right. I might have messed it up. But
Close enough.
but we're talking about things that they're doing, and I am so excited to be a part of them, having them on the show. And so, if you want to be part of the conversation, I already told you, the easiest way to do it is to pick up the phone, dial 1-888-344-1170. Will, you was talking about the things that in industry that wasn't there when you needed it, and you went out and you had these thoughts, and you met with AP, and you guys came up with some ideas. A 20-minute meeting turned into 3 hours, but it birthed a dream that you guys are doing and doing it well. So were there any challenges along the way in getting to the point where you guys are at today?
Might need 3 hours for that one too, but go ahead.
Yeah, that's a whole separate show. I mean, look, the what happens when an IT and a sales guy in their mid 40s or in their 40s start a clothing line, right? I mean, it goes about the way you would expect. Significant learning curve. Whether it's finding the right manufacturing partner, the right logistics company, marketing. I'll give you one example that almost made me want to throw in the towel, like the first few months in. So we started a Kickstarter campaign. We got funded in about a month and a half. So we launched, and we started manufacturing the first few orders. And we had some khaki pants that we had made with a manufacturer that we thought was up for the challenge. And they weren't. There were some issues. So we basically took it back from them. And I took it. I was in Peru at this time. We had a manufacturer in Peru, so I took it to another manufacturer. And basically, what had happened was they needed to finish what's called cleaning. So basically, there was a lot of loose thread. They needed to cut the thread and just kind of prep it for packaging. So there was a stain on one of the pants, and the new manufacturer was trying to get the stain out, knocked over the water bottle, and the water bottle spilled all over the pocket. Now the pocket had our logo on it in a beautiful step and repeat pattern. And it looked really good until the water caused all of it to run and bleed all over the pants. They hadn't sealed it properly. So here we are with a production of a few hundred pants, and they're about to go to customers. And the moment they put it in the washing machine, it's going to ruin their clothes. So we had to pivot. We had to basically remake them. And so that was one kind of instance of just like, you don't know what to ask. You sometimes don't know the questions to ask. It was certainly a learning curve and a challenge, but over the last 8 years, we've become fairly proficient in what to look for and who to work with.
Wow, that's interesting. You guys getting ready so now, and you had to almost change the design, to stop the design and redo it.
Right.
AP, what are some of the biggest financial challenges that you all had in creating where you're at today, and how did you overcome, and what should entrepreneurs be thinking about if they decide to do any type of business?
Yeah, I mean, initially it's a very cash heavy industry, right? You got to have enough cash flow for inventory that you don't physically own yet, right? When you're brand new like us, nobody's offering you credit terms as a manufacturer. So obviously and then the other huge challenge we had, we're a subscription model, right? So we aren't, for example, just designing a summer collection where it could be 6 pieces and we just mass manufacture them. We need unique pieces every single month to give to our subscribers. So we don't need an extreme high quantity, especially in the beginning when your subscriber count isn't high. So we were almost backed into forming our own factory to combat those minimum order quantities and the heavily inflated price that comes with. So I would say, to kind of not make it a really long story, it's all about inventory management and marketing as a new apparel brand. Even though we're in a big and tall space where the competition isn't as rough as the other sizing, it's still hard, right? Because you're now a niche offering, and it's hard to get your eyeballs on the right customer, right? So you're mass putting out ads to the public, hoping that the right percentage of folks can buy enough of your product, right? So marketing and obviously inventory is the huge investment initially. We probably underestimated that because we had a lot of success early on with people signing up. But that is the name of the game in the apparel industry. The margins are thin to where you can't manage your inventory and get overstocked. A lot of brands that were around when we started are gone because of those issues. So I would say those are the big ones. If you have a product that is selling, I would try to have somebody in your back pocket that can do sort of a royalty play with you, and also it has to be a decent deal for you to where you're not taking a bath on it, but let your sales do the talking, where you could kind of create that inventory from a royalty play and then pay back your investor without giving up a huge part of your company, right? So for us, we had some early help like that helped us combat the combination of being operationally sound with cost and also marketing and inventory, right? So that's your biggest hurdles when you first start out.
Wow. Just for you, Will, how does the competition with established brands and fast fashion retail impact a new apparel brand and the pricing strategy?
That's a great question. Fortunately for us, fast fashion isn't a major player in the big and tall space. So from that perspective, we don't have a lot of issues trying to set our pricing but if you're in a standard apparel brand working in the more crowded and more traditional size space, it is a major impact. Consumers are very price conscious, especially in this economy. So trying to compete with brands whose entire business model is based on cheap and disposable is a significant challenge. So, for us, the challenge is more, as you said, with established brands. For example, when we were still manufacturing in Peru, we acquired some fabric from a company that makes the same shirt fabric for, Ralph Lauren, for Tommy Hilfiger, for Psycho Bunny. And so we're at the exact same quality, exact same patterns even. But, to a customer who doesn't recognize our new brand, to them it's cheap. So trying to navigate an established brand and the prices they've set and trying to compare yourself. So, for example, in our new brand, where we're trying to do more of a higher end brand, you have to establish yourself. Consumers aren't going to just pay because you say this is what it's worth. They're going to compare you to previous brands that they're used to, and they're going to give you a shot. But eventually, over time, you can win them over if the quality is what you say it is and the experience is what you say it is. But it is a challenge initially for you trying to compare yourself with an existing brand, because that's always a reference point. And if they don't know much about a particular brand or a particular fashion, then they're always going to see you from the perspective of, maybe a tier lower, and they're going to expect your prices to be the same way.
I want to kind of pivot to the Newton first line clothing. First of all, can you tell our viewers and our listeners exactly what that means and what you all are doing, and potential target audience that you all are trying to incur? That's you, AP.
Yeah, so Newton's First is something Will and I launched about a year ago. We started conceptually creating samples and designs for it. And that's something else obviously unique that we do is that we design our own clothing. We do have help from designers, but we come up with the initial concepts of all of our pieces. We felt like there was a huge need at our Big and Tall arena for athleisure. It's a very loose term now. It can mean a lot of things, but at the end of the day, it's clothing, essentially clothing that looks amazing and it feels great, right? You don't feel restricted. You feel you could do almost anything and go anywhere in it, right? So you could take a meeting and go straight to, a fast walk or a small jog and not feel like you need to switch out clothes, right? So obviously there's a lot of demand for it across the board, from Viore, Lululemon, etc. Travis Matthew now designs to be more athleisure than golf. So we're the first Big and Tall athleisure brand. We launched with 6 items: stretch pants, joggers, long sleeve button up that's stretch, polo, active shorts, and a short sleeve button up. And we got 4 more items coming in about a month and a half. We've found some great success in marketing it, and Will's our marketing genius. We come up with concepts and he shoots videos. We do everything in-house. That's one big thing that if listeners wanting to create their brand are listening, just be willing to try everything yourself, because we've outsourced everything. And ultimately we bring it back to just us, because nobody's going to try as hard as you are to try everything, give it all you got. So with that being said, with Newton's First, it's just our new and exciting brand. We got NFL players excited to work with us. We're having a meeting in a couple of weeks at the NFL headquarters. So it's a brand that we could get behind, that almost anybody could wear and feel comfortable in, right? So it's not something to say, well, anybody that needs bigger clothing shouldn't be active. They should be active in whatever size they are, at whatever moment they are. We provide that comfort and confidence to help them feel better.
Hold that though. We're going to take a station break, but this is so exciting. And I can see that listeners and our viewers are watching this, and I see that they're excited as well. But they need to ask more questions. They need to. We got a couple of questions coming up when we get back. And I tell you, if you want to be part of the conversation, regardless of where you're at in the world, regardless of which platform that you're watching us on, all you have to do is just go to the comments, ask any questions that you might have, or pick up the phone and dial 1-888-344-1170. Again, that's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life, and we'll see you shortly after the break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
Hey! The James Cooley Show. It's your life. Dr. James JC Cooley.
Craving a slice of Chicago right here in Temecula wine country? Then dive into legendary Chicago deep dish style pizza at Rosati's Pizza Pub. Piled high with gooey cheese, rich tomato sauce, and your favorite toppings, Rosati's delivers the taste of the Windy City right to your table or front door. Enjoy that cozy pub atmosphere and an impressive selection of Temecula wines. Come on down to Rosati's Pizza Pub for your slice of Chicago right here on Rancho California Road, or order online at myrosatis.com. Rosati's, where Chicago deep dish pizza meets Temecula charm.
Dr. James J.C. Cooley from the United States of America, and I am here to just say, first of all, I'm so happy and honored to be honored to be in the Coffee Book 2023, Unified Brain Z and the other organizations. Thank you so much for giving me an opportunity to be a part of this collection.
Dr. James JC
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and we're talking about the apparel industry. Different type, because what these two young men are doing, I think other people need to step up with the courage. If you see a problem out there, I'm talking about that. Just like I mentioned, one size do not fit all. It's not just for oneself, but what I've been listening to Will and AP. They are providing an industry where people have choices, where they go out and order it and not worry about not getting whatever size that is and not having it in stock. And I think that's so noble. And I love what these two young men are doing. And I tell you what, my producer back in California, Todd, what do you think about the show so far?
I tell you, James, this is a great show. I'm being educated and entertained at the same time. I'm taking notes and I'm eating popcorn. I started off with like 5 bags of popcorn. I'm down to 2 bags of popcorn. Such a great show. Let's get right back to it. What's your next question for your fabulous guest?
Well, I want to pick it up again with Newton Clothing Line. And one question that I asked, and maybe you did answer that, Will or AP, the target audience is, I know it's big guys or tall guys or whatever, where it's almost impossible for them to just be going to Macy's or these other places in order to get, perfect fit clothes. Just like Will, you came out, you said, hey, I like looking good. I like dressing good. And if these other industries are not offering that, I'm going to do it myself. Can you talk about the target audience a little bit more? That's
For sure.
Will.
Absolutely. So, kind of piggybacking on what Amit said in the previous segment, some people might be thinking, what is athleisure? And athleisure is essentially, I like to think of it as Lululemon, but bigger. And I use Lululemon just as an example because a lot of people seem to understand what that is. Stretchy clothes, stretchy fabrics, really comfortable. Although we really are inspired more by a local company out there in San Diego called Viore. We like their color palette, we like their aesthetic, and that's kind of, we see a lot of what we're trying to do based off of kind of some of what they've been doing and innovating in the athletic space. But primarily, we're looking for big and tall men who are looking for clothes that are comfortable, that stretch, and it's reflected in our name. So, it's probably a cardinal rule of radio that you don't talk about physics in the afternoon, but I'm going to talk about physics for a quick second because it kind of leads into exactly what we're trying to do and what the company is about. Newton's first law of motion is that a body in motion remains in motion unless acted upon by an external force. And if you think about it, in our everyday lives, our clothes are an external force that directly inhibit our movement and our freedom. And that is especially true of plus size men and women, because our bodies, are affected by unforgiving fabrics, poor design, poor cuts. Any big and tall guy who's ever sat in a meeting hoping his button doesn't pop off and hit somebody in the face knows exactly what I'm talking about. So to be able to have a clothing line that provides comfort, style, and convenience, and allows somebody to forget, because it's not just about the inhibition of your body. Poorly designed clothes also inhibits kind of your mind. As a big and tall guy, I can't tell you how much time I've wasted thinking about how this looks on me, how it's going to look, is this not fitting correctly? So to be able to give people the freedom of not only motion, but freedom to be able to be self-confident in their own bodies, that's what Newton's First is all about.
Wow, we got a question right here from Jonathan. And this question is, what is one way that you can get investors without giving away a big chunk of your company, like AP was saying? AP, that's toward you.
If you have a concept, obviously first goal is to go for it, right? You can't be halfway in, and you have to be ready to do any and everything it takes, right? So for us, for example, right, if it means pack every box, answer every email, do every social media post, do all the marketing yourself, ship out of your house, whatever it takes, that initial grit will probably lead you to greener pastures, right? So if you get some sales in the door, almost anyone, not anyone, but more people are willing to talk to you once you've established some route of sales, some sort of hit on the industry. So for it's not an easy answer, but it's be willing to do everything, right? So you don't know how, maybe learn the best you can. But if you save those operational dollars that you do have, especially in this grueling industry where every penny is mighty, bring everything you can in-house, and don't be, you can't say, well, I'm not going to do that. I need to hire, somebody else needs to do it because that's below what I should be doing. That's one of the things you cannot do from our experience, right? Obviously, some people have sold concepts and gotten a ton of money and started off that way, but not for us. And we probably wouldn't change it because here we are, still don't have any outside forces telling us what to do, how to cut costs on the product, right, where the customer suffers. So for Will and I, it's always about every dollar we can incorporate back to our product. That's what we do.
Wow.
To not have that outside force, do whatever it takes initially to get your feet off the ground, and only partner with people that you feel like won't try to drive the business opposite of where you want to go.
Wow. Will, you had mentioned something about you guys got an office or something that you deal with in San Diego. I tell you, if we get an opportunity to do this again, and if you guys are in San Diego, I would love for you guys to be in the studio. My main man Todd and our folks back there are fantastic. Okay, so we got about 2.5 minutes before the break, and you guys talk about what is unique selling proposition of the clothing line, and how does it different from competitors in the market? We got 2 minutes. Will.
Well, I think that our unique selling proposition is primarily that we are the first and only athleisure brand that is exclusively for big and tall men. We don't do any other sizes. So we know, and also having had 8 years of experience with our previous company, from the perspective of sizing, from the perspective of having a previous history to be able to determine kind of what the cut should be like, how the fit should be. We have 8 years of data essentially from our existing customers. So that helps drive. So from our perspective, we are a company that of big and tall men, for big and tall men. We know big and tall sizing, and we're going to do it right, and we're going to be size inclusive. As far as competitors are concerned, again, other athleisure brands don't have big and tall sizes. They stop at 2XL. And then the other, for example, the DXLs of the world, the King Size Direct, if you type in athleisure in their search bar, you don't find anything except athletic clothing. The Adidas and Nikes of the world, they're not doing athleisure. We are, and we're doing it well.
Wow. We got to take a station break, but I love this conversation. I love this discussion. And I think our viewers and our listeners are loving it as well, because now they got an option. Now they got an option. When you don't have an option, you just go with whatever you do. But they got an option, and you guys are giving the world an option, I tell you. You want to be part of the conversation? All you have to do, just go to the platform that you're watching us on, ask any questions that you might have, or I make it easy for you. Pick up the phone, dial 1-888-344-1170 again. That's 1-888-344-1170. It's your life. We'll see you shortly after the commercial break.
There's more stories of greatness to help you overcome adversity coming up on It's Your Life with James Cooley.
A black man.
can affect an entire generation and build our character. But you gotta do it with these 4 C's. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence. It's the 4 C's. It's the 4 C's. In life you are gonna grow, but there's things in this world that you gotta know. To be the best that you can be, you wanna grow real big into a strong tree. To be who you were created to be, the one who's gonna leave a legacy is you. But you got to have these 4 C's. Create, collaborate, then you commit with confidence.
Hello, welcome back to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, and hey Todd, I am thoroughly enjoying this conversation with these 2 young men. I mean, just the courage and the confidence that one must have and step forward, and knowing that there are many risks out there, and you do it, and you come up with a plan. You hook up with somebody that you know that got the same mindset as you and got the same vision as you. You can be successful in anything you do. What are your quick thoughts on that?
I definitely admire their hustle. I love it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I know we only got about 9 minutes left in the show. I know Dr. Cooley had popped in, and Dr. Cooley, do you have questions for these 2 great gentlemen?
Oh yes, most definitely. So, Amit, Will, so do you both felt that there was an underserved market regarding the Winston Box and the big and tall men's apparel? Can you kind of go into that?
Yeah,
sure. Look, as I was saying earlier, as a big and tall guy my whole life, kind of, I've been limited. There's been limitations, kind of where I can shop, what I can get. And so that was reflected in the subscription box market 8 years ago. There wasn't anybody doing subscription boxes for big and tall guys. And so when I started looking I learned 2 things. First and foremost, subscription boxes are traditionally pretty much a way for manufacturers to get rid of their apparel without going into a Ross, without going into a Burlington coat factory, without giving that idea that they're basically taking their own clothing and they're bringing it to a store and kind of devaluing it, right? So that's how subscription boxes came to be. They would take overstock and they would kind of repackage it as something nice. But when there are no clothing brands making a lot of big and tall clothes, there isn't anything to pull from. So what we decided to do when we launched the Winston Box was the subscription box was going to be primarily a vehicle or a delivery mechanism, rather. We needed to have our own clothing brand, because nobody else was making clothes. So the Winston Box is not only a subscription box for big and tall guys, but it's its own clothing label as well. And that allowed us to really reach out to a broader audience and not be limited by the few brands that were making clothes that were wholesaling at pretty expensive prices. So we were able to deliver value and convenience at a price point that we've managed to keep the way it is, $75 a box for a month, for the last 8 years. In an economy where everything else has been increasing, all the prices are going up. We're pretty proud that we've been able to keep our prices low and still deliver a quality product to the consumer.
How is the Winston Box available internationally as well as domestically to everyone for big and tall men?
It's available to anybody in the world. We've had customers all over the world throughout the years. We do have a fairly large customer base in Canada. We don't do any sort of active marketing all throughout the world, but folks that do learn about us, we've had customers in Mexico, England, all through Europe, Australia. I'm sure I'm missing a few, Will. I think we had a few in Asia, but we ship anywhere in the world. Obviously, you pay a little bit more of a premium to get a box out to you if you're overseas, but it's available to anyone.
What's the feedback you've received regarding the Winston Box? The people who have dealt with you regarding this particular clothing line?
Yeah, it's been overwhelmingly positive. I can tell you the emails that we've received from customers who kind of feel cool because we're giving them something that's a little trendy that they've seen, but they haven't been able to find in stores, who feel self-confident because, we're providing them with fabrics that are stretchy or that fit pretty well. Look, at like any subscription box, there's always going to be a challenge. It's a blind service. We can ask as many questions in the world, but in the end, there isn't anything that we can do if we sent you a shirt in the exact same color of a shirt that you already have in your closet and you decide to cancel your subscription because it's not worth it. So you're always going to have those people those outliers that are going to just be unhappy with the service in general because of the nature of it. You're not selecting something, you're selecting a concept. But overall, we wouldn't be in business for 8 years and still going strong if we weren't delivering quality and value to our big and tall customers. And we're really proud of what we've accomplished over the last 8 years, especially because, and I'll say it again, it's just an IT guy and a sales guy who has a dream, and we've been able to carry it over the last 8 years.
Wow. You guys, whatever you guys are doing, is a successful recipe, at least I think, based on our research and based on what we're chatting about today. I know that, Will, you had mentioned that you guys are working, and AP, you did as well, working with other organizations, other clothing lines, and you guys got 4 new ones coming out in the next, I think you mentioned the next month or so. Can you talk briefly about that, AP?
Yeah, those 4 the new stuff coming out is still under our Newton's First clothing line. They're just new items that we're adding to our collections. We're still very much pushing forward with Newton's First as a concept. It's very early. We've only been selling for a little over 2 months, and we've done a couple events. Like I said, we've reached a lot of eyes that can help us get promotion. Right. So again, just like with the Winston Box, the hardest part is getting your name out there without, putting literally millions of dollars into it. So we're being very strategic about like slowly expanding the brand and letting the clothes do the talking, because we've spent countless hours designing each unique piece, everything down to the details, and we want it to be more about the clothing. Get it into as many customers as we can and let them be our advocate to get more sales.
Wow. I just love you guys' concept, and I love you guys. You can just feel it. I would like to talk to you guys a little bit more, if possible, about how we can team up and how we can promote some things sponsorship wise, because I think you guys got something that's so important, not just in the United States, but around the world. It's around the world. And so I would love to chat with you guys about that if you guys have time, if you want to. But
definitely.
I love what we heard today. I'm sure my producer, I know he loves it as well. And I tell you, I want to thank you guys for taking the time to come on the show today to talk about this. I did not know how it was going to turn out, but it turned out great because this is something that we hadn't talked about. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to come on
Thank
the
you.
show. I'd like to thank Dr. Michelle Cooley for putting together another absolutely fantastic show. I hope that I'm able to afford her because people trying to get her as an executive producer. She's fantastic. I'd like to thank our studios back in California, KCBQ, AM 1170 ounce, FM 96.1. For always being there and my main man Toddy, my producer for the last 6 years. Most importantly, I'd like to thank our viewers and our listeners for tuning in to the James Cooley Show. It's your life, Monday through Friday, live, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, every day, and also Saturday and Sunday, 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Because we always want people to dream big, think big, and be big. It's your life, and we'll see you tomorrow, same time, same place.